Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I'm testing out this PHB foundation. It's a Pure Skin Organic Liquid Foundation. It's got SPF 30 and it's with organic argan and sea buckthorn. So I'm very excited to do a first impressions on this. It's actually just gone 9 o'clock in the morning, so I can do a proper full day first impression. On the back here it says it's a skin nourishing liquid foundation that blurs the line between makeup and skincare, made with organic ingredients that nourish and protect skin, long lasting and full coverage foundation with a light and silky texture that won't clog pores, provides a natural looking flawless finish. So it's claiming to be full coverage, long lasting, won't clog pores, but has a light and silky texture and looks kind of natural. So I'm really excited to try this out. PHB is a really great brand. It also says on the back here, suited for all skin types, great for sensitive skin and acne. So I'm quite looking forward to this. It's natural, organic, vegan, cruelty free, halal certified, gluten free, paraben free, no nanoparticles, no mineral oils, no GM ingredients. So this retails for $19.95, which I don't think is too bad for a foundation. So I got mine in the shade Cream. Again, obviously I was trying to do this online, so we'll have to see how well the shade matches me. So that's what the shade looks like. It definitely has a yellow neutral undertone, which I'm very excited about. So we'll have to see if this does everything it claims. So I'm going to go with primer first. Now, unlike the Vapor Organic one, I'm going to actually prime both sides, but I'm going to use different primers. They'll do different things to see if that makes a difference. So obviously I'm going to go with my 100% Pure Luminous Primer. This is more of a hydrating, kind of almost like a moisturiser. I feel like a second moisturiser for the skin, and I absolutely love this one. And then for more of the mattifying kind of pore blurring primer, I know this isn't Green Beauty, but it's the Moans Formula Insta Ready Face Primer. So I'm going to do one half with this primer, one half with this primer, as they're two very different primers, and see if that makes a difference. So I'm going to go in with my 100% Pure first. And then go with the Physicians Formula Insta Ready one. Yeah, it's a much different texture, kind of almost silicone but not quite. And do that on this side. Yes, this one's slightly more of a smoothing, kind of pore filling primer. More of a blurring effect. As you can see, it's a lot. This one's definitely more of a luminous primer, but it's slightly more mattifying. So I thought actually this might be a better way of testing out a foundation. Okay, so that's both sides primed. Now to go on with the foundation. It feels slightly thicker than some of my other foundations. Okay, so I'm going to go with a sponge, I think, to blend this out. I'd say the colour match isn't too bad actually. So I got the shade Cream. Okay, I think I'm going to switch to a brush because I'm having a hard time trying to blend this out at the moment. So this is a Real Techniques sculpting brush. I have to say it's definitely working much better with the 100% Pure Luminous Primer underneath as opposed to the Physicians Formula. Because it's actually refusing to blend out on this section here. So I think I might just quickly take it all off and just go in with the 100% Pure Primer, because it seems to be working better, because I do need to film another video after this, so I do kind of need it to look relatively nice. So I'm going to quickly do that. Okay, so let's start again. Let's just go in with the 100% Pure instead all over the skin. Okay, then I'm going to pump some on the back of my hands, and I think I'm not going to put dots on my face, I'm just going to take bits off the back of my hand instead. Again, just going with a Real Techniques sculpting brush. and buff bits into the skin. It's definitely blending out so much better with this other primer underneath. Okay, so this is what one layer is looking like on my skin at the moment. Like I said, I don't think it's full coverage at the moment because you can still clearly see my spots. I've still got a bit of redness around my nose as well. It's definitely not sinking into any pores, anything like that. It's sitting really beautifully on skin, and definitely there's a natural finish to it. And it looks like there's some like luminosity as well, which I really like, but that could be the primer underneath as well actually. So actually I think it is a really nice foundation. I just don't think at the moment it's full coverage necessarily, but I will go in with just a little bit more and see if it is a buildable foundation. Otherwise I would still say it's a nice foundation, it's just not full coverage like it claims to be. You know, I'm going to stipple it on this time because actually that usually gives a bit more coverage as well. Okay, so by building it does add a little bit of coverage, however it makes it a lot harder to blend out. It kind of sets a little bit. I've noticed the back of my hand that it's kind of, there's still some foundation on it, but it's kind of, it's not dry, but it's not as movable as it was. So I was starting to take off some of the makeup here, so now it doesn't look quite as nice around this area as it did before with one layer. So I would just recommend going in with one layer, to be honest. So I wouldn't necessarily say it's a full coverage foundation because you'll still see my spots and a little bit of redness, and trying to go in the second layer doesn't quite work out so well. So I would just be careful with that. But apart from that, I think actually it looks really beautiful on the skin here. So it's now not looking so great here because I tried to add the second layer of foundation and it didn't like it at all. It was kind of, like I said, it wasn't dry, it was just not very movable anymore, the foundation. And I feel like it's oxidized slightly as well on my skin, so that's another thing to bear in mind. But yeah, my skin doesn't feel tacky at all. It definitely feels set, but it does, like I said, there is a nice luminosity, but again, I don't know if that's the primer I've got underneath. But I have to say I actually quite like this foundation. I just have to, like I said, it does oxidize, I feel. So you have to be kind of careful with that aspect. So I'm going to go a shade lighter than your usual skin tone. And like I said, if you want full coverage, does it give a nice light silky texture? Yes, I think it is nice. It doesn't feel heavy on the skin. It still gives a natural flawless finish to this part of the skin. Obviously I've got loads of spots around here, so it's really hard to make things look flawless here. But everything else is looking really nice at the moment. Okay, so at the moment I'd say the cons of this is that it slightly oxidizes, so I would recommend going in with a shade lighter maybe. It does set quite quickly and it's not easy to put a second layer on, so if you did want full coverage I would put like a fair amount on here, then blend out the section, then move to somewhere else, rather than putting bits everywhere and then trying to blend everything out, because I think that's why I was having a slight problem beforehand. And you definitely can't go in the second layer afterwards because it starts to like ruin things a little bit. I definitely wouldn't say it's necessary. I don't know if it is full coverage really, it's hard for me to test out. I think it's a medium coverage, which I don't mind. I don't always like a full coverage. However, pros, I really like how it looks. It looks really still relatively natural on the skin. Here it looks really silky and smooth. It's not clogging pores like it says. It does look really, it doesn't feel heavy on the skin at all, even though it's quite a thick cream on the back of my hand. In fact, like quite a thick cream. And it does, I don't know about the flawlessness because obviously my spots are here still and it always makes it a bit difficult to look flawless, but I think this looks really nice in general. So I would market this as more as a medium coverage. and then I'd say it does everything else on what it claims to do. Obviously I don't know about the long lasting bit yet, so we'll have to see how it is throughout the day. So I'm going to quickly go in with some concealer and powder, just to see what other products are like over the top. So I'm taking my 100% Pure concealer. And then I'm going to get a sponge. This is like really nice foundation though. Where's that happening? I'm sure what here. So this is my concealer. I have to say, adding the concealer, especially in this section, almost makes my skin here look slightly airbrushed. I quite like it. But yeah, so that concealer works perfectly nicely over the top of that foundation, which is great. Now onto powder. I think I will set the entire skin because I'm going to be working with powder products in a minute and for my next video, and I kind of really need my next video to look nice because it's going to be a strictly one, so I don't want to risk any patchiness like I did with the Vapor Organic foundation. So I'm going to take my RMS Beauty powder, obviously set my concealed areas, and I'm just going to put a light layer over the rest of the skin as well. Just to lightly set the rest of my face. Okay, so that's it with the concealer and powder on. Those products work really nicely on top, nothing kind of went cakey or anything like that, so it's still looking the same. So I will update you throughout the day. So I'm going to go and quickly film another video now, so I'll be back after that video so I can show you how it's holding up, and then like I said, I'll update you throughout the day of how well it's going. So I will see you in a bit. Hi guys, so I've obviously filmed my Strictly look. So the foundation is still looking the same. So it's been, yeah, so it's 11 o'clock now, so it's been about an hour and a half since I've applied it. It's still looking exactly the same. I'm not looking shiny. It's still looking nice. The product's applied beautifully over the top when I was doing this makeup look right here. So I think it's a very nice foundation. At the moment it still looks the same as when I first applied it, so I'll come back throughout the day and obviously give you more updates of how it's going. Okay, so it's now 2:30, so the foundation's been on my skin for I guess about 5 hours now, and it's still looking actually really nice. I'm starting to get shiny now along my T-zone, which tends to happen with most foundations. I did notice here it's starting to sink into a line, which I didn't know I had, to be honest. Yeah, I just noticed it creased a little bit here, but apart from that it's still looking really nice. So far so good. It's been on for 5 hours. I probably won't keep it on for too much longer, maybe another 2 hours or so, and then it'll be on for about 7 hours, which I think is a reasonable amount of time. I don't really like to have foundation on for that long, and actually you're not really supposed to because it can be quite bad for your skin, and as I'm someone who clearly suffers from spots, I'd rather just not. So I'll keep it on for another 2 hours and I'll give you a fun update after that. Guys, it's now 4:15, so it's been on my face for almost 7 hours, this foundation. I've kind of picked a spot now, so I'm kind of ready to take it off. Like I said, I don't really like to have it on for much longer than 6 hours, just because I feel like it doesn't help my skin at all if I do. It still looks actually the same. It looks really nice. I think, like I said, I'm a bit shiny. I have picked my spot. Shouldn't have done that, but you know, and there was a little bit, it did set it in my lines here a little bit, but apart from that it actually looks still relatively nice. Yes, I'm a little bit more shiny, but I don't think it's overly oily, so I look kind of more dewy, I guess, as opposed to oily. So this foundation I think is really nice. Like I said, don't try and put a second layer on because it doesn't work very well. It kind of goes very patchy. So definitely the silicone primer is not the way to go, or at least not that Physicians Formula. I'd go for something more hydrating. That seems to work quite nicely underneath. It does set quite quickly, like I said, so you have to, I would work in sections, and if you want to build up, you have to build up quite quickly. Again, in sections. No, I actually really like this foundation. It's definitely more of a hit than maybe the Vapor Organic, although I will keep giving that a try, trying out different methods and stuff like that to kind of make it work a bit better. It's really nice. It's meant for acne and sensitive skin, which I think is great, so I'm looking forward to that. So I've actually really enjoyed this foundation. I would definitely recommend it. Remember, I've got oily to combination skin. I think that's quite important to know, just in case you have maybe dry to normal and it doesn't work for you. Then obviously not everyone's skin works the same, not everyone likes, and everyone I feel like looks for different things in foundations as well. But I would say this is a nice foundation. I've told you kind of what maybe the cons are of it, but I'd say the pros definitely outweigh the cons, and the cons aren't really that bad either, I don't think, personally. You just got to learn how to work with the foundation. So I really like this foundation. I'm definitely going to keep on using it, and like I said, I would recommend it if you wanted to try it out. So yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this review, and I will see you in my next video.